Hello, beautiful beings. I'm so happy to be with you again. Okay, in school, most of us learn that atoms are the basic building blocks of matter. But as we know now, science has discovered that an atom is not material. At the core of an atom is an energy vortex, a powerful energy field, and everything is made up out of this energy. Matter is actually a dream, an illusion of energy and light. Even our bodies are not physical structures, but are spinning, swirling currents of pure energy, existing in a field of consciousness, connecting everything to everything else. So let's hop back to the very beginning of existence. In the simplest spiritual explanation I can come up with of creation itself, the prime creator, or as some might say, God or source, has always existed. So, although there was in truth no beginning and will be no ending to this God or source consciousness, one could say that in the beginning there was nothing but potential creation. And from out of that nothingness came an idea, a thought. And from that thought arose everything. Another way we could put this is that God or source turned inward upon itself with an idea. And from that great inward thought sprang forth everything. Somewhat similar to what scientists have been calling the Big Bang. So out of the nothing came everything. So you could say that the whole of reality is truly one mind, one thought, one consciousness in the mind of God. And everything in the universe is only a fractal expression of that collective mind. Fractal. To make it simple, because we like simple, a fractal is a never-ending pattern, like a geometric figure in which each part has the same characteristics as the whole, created by repeating a process over and over again in sort of a feedback loop, by forming a design that is repeated into forever, exactly like the creation of the universe. So this all of creation, from within the beingness, the isness, the timeless void of pure consciousness, had a desire to expand and know itself in every possible way and from every possible position and circumstance. So it fragmented itself into billions of splinters or fractals, each holding the same characteristics of that whole. And these fractals are known to us as souls. So as a soul, being a splinter of pure source consciousness itself, is within that splinter the wholeness of its source. So this soul, like its parent consciousness, can also fragment itself and even lower itself down through the densities into physicality. So a soul as we know it is not only an individuated being, but possesses all of the attributes and abilities of its origin, source, the all itself. This means that as a soul fragments itself into multiple parts, these parts or fractals each have their own individual experiences. And as a fragment of the all, it provides its creator with those experiences, expanding consciousness itself. A soul is also connected to its higher soul, what you might call the oversoul. And because this oversoul is the closest thing to you, yourself, when you suddenly receive maybe a telepathic communication guiding you, or maybe somebody warning you not to turn left, for example, a lot of us might believe that this voice is an angel or guidance coming from outside of us. And it can be, like a celestial guide. Yet often the message is coming from the deepest core of our being, our true self, or the oversoul. So a soul is creation itself within a body of any density, experiencing separate lives. Yet every soul is a multiple being, and within that wholeness are many individuated fractals, each experiencing a reality. One maybe as a man in the 17th century who dies at the age of 24. Another maybe a woman in the 20th century during World War II. And now, because of all the bombing, is terrified of anything that comes from the sky. Yet both of these lives are parts of one soul and are alive at the same time within this continuum through the process of simultaneous time. All lives we have ever lived or will ever live are all existing now within the same space, yet in alternate densities. The way we usually look at this is that when a soul is created, it goes through lifetimes, one after the other after the other. And of course, this view is valid from a point of third density living. But viewing it from a higher, more scalar view, these lives are all within parallel life streams happening in the now. So each and all of these life streams are present within this moment, no matter in what era or point in history they're being lived, and can influence the life we're living in our awareness now. We're always connected to those other lives and often encounter them in dreams. If you can come from the realization that your soul is having multiple lives that are all existing in this moment, this will help you to understand how all this works, that there are all these other yous on a variety of existences. So what do you say, guys? Until next time, bye.